Welcome, everyone, to this segment of Journey Smarter in September. I'm Kelly Robert, Journey Program Manager, and I am so excited about this week's segment. Tune up your social media skills. And we have Bree Pry. Bree is one of UBT's own. And what I'm going to say about Bree, her title is, what is your title, Bree? Digital Marketing Coordinator?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. I probably messed it up a little bit, and I'm very sorry. I think of her. I was introduced her as our social media guru. And Bree and the team that she serves on come up with the very best ideas for our social media. So I want you to think of something that you have seen on social media regarding UBT. Like maybe it was a presentation for Magic Moments or an event where we were a sponsor. Probably in the corner somewhere was Bree standing on a chair, getting a couple of fantastic photos, coming back and using those photos and writing this great caption. I've been to a lot of things where Bree is on a chair, and I've also been sitting across from her when she's talking about this amazing thing, and she puts it on social media and makes it look even more amazing. So she's going to tell us a bit about how she does that. I just can't wait for you to hear her. So settle in. It's cold outside, but we're going to have some nice warm conversation and a fantastic presenter. So Bree, take it away.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's so nice to be here. I'm going to warn you in advance, my voice is a little crackly, so I might have to pause and mute and clear my throat or take a drink at some point during the presentation, but I'll be here. I just may need a couple of minutes. So anyway, let's go ahead and get my, I'll share my screen here and we'll get the slideshow up. Oops, get out of the way. Okay. Excuse me. See, I'm already coughing. It's just how it is this time of year, you know. Okay, so welcome to Tune Up Your Social Media Skills. So this is going to be, the first part of this is going to be kind of a general overview on social media because I don't want to assume that anyone, I don't want to assume your knowledge level, essentially. So I'm going to just do kind of a brief overview of some of the social media platforms, and then we are going to just like, we're going to hop right into my Facebook page and we're going to kind of click around a little bit. So, here. So starting off about me. So I've been married for about 5 years. I have 2 wonderful children. My daughter is 11 and my son is 3. As you can imagine, they keep me busy, especially this week with all of the school closings. It's been interesting in my household. I also serve on the American Marketing Association Lincoln chapter board. I have been a president of the board in the past, and I signed up to be president again. So essentially what that board does is it is a community for marketers in Lincoln that we all kind of get together and can network and just bounce ideas off of each other and all of that. So those 2 things, my children and AMA take up, and work obviously, take up a lot of my time. So excuse me, as I mentioned, we're just going to kind of go over a review of the platforms. Because you may be hearing like your grandkids talk about TikTok and you're like, what is TikTok? I'll explain it a little bit. And then, like I said, we'll go through and click around in Facebook and see, I'll show you how to, make a post and your privacy settings and all of that. And then we'll talk about how you can connect safely with your friends and family and your community. So, excuse me, I'm going to jump right into Instagram. So Instagram is probably the second most popular social media right now. It's mostly app, so it's mostly for mobile use. You can use it on a desktop browser, but the experience isn't the same. They have 2.4 billion users. Facebook owns Instagram, so it's a little, nepotistic. There's a little bit of nepotism in there. Instagram is mostly known for like the influencer culture where someone makes money on sharing their life or sharing their business or their passion. So it's a lot of influencer culture, a lot of lifestyle, music, events, travel. Instagram is more of a video platform. They host what are called reels, which are just like up to a minute or so video content essentially, but you can still share photos on Instagram. So TikTok is, again, all app-based, so it's mostly it's for mobile users. This is exclusively video content. So anything that is posted on the app is a video. You can turn photos into videos, but that's a whole nother thing. Excuse me, this app is mostly for, entertainment. It's music, it's dancing, it's education. There's all sorts of different sub TikTok. There's like book talk is what they call it, where people talk about books, or there's makeup TikTok and all of this. So but the interesting fact is that 1.8% of users are 65 and older, which I thought was super interesting. To me, a TikTok user is like 35 and younger, but it's interesting that there are some people over 65 using TikTok. And then nearly 70% are 35 and 34 and younger. Reddit is kind of I don't want to say dying social media, because that's not quite right. It's a very niche social media. So this is desktop and mobile, and it's basically like a forum. So somebody makes a post and then people can comment on it. And there's also like a ranking system. So the higher it's ranked, the more it's shown. And the prevalent age group is 18 to 29. This is actually one social media that I am not on because I don't get it. I'm not part of the niche, but I know there are a lot of people who love it. And then there's obviously so many more social media platforms, and it feels like every year something new comes out that people want to try, and it never catches on. But Pinterest is also, again, I don't want to say a dying platform, but it's a very niche platform, and it serves its purpose, but it's not as prevalent as it once was. LinkedIn, again, very niche. It's more for professional connections. X, which is formerly known as Twitter, I would argue is dying, but there's again a time and place for it. Snapchat, your grandkids may use Snapchat quite a bit. It's mostly so Snapchat, the basis of it is it's like a 24-hour only view of a photo or video, and it's a chat function essentially. And then YouTube, where all the videos go. So Facebook, that's what we're going to focus on mostly today. Facebook is the biggest social media platform. It continues to be, probably for the last 15 years, probably. The recent stats say that it's 3.049 billion monthly users, which is insane to think about, that almost half of the world's population is on Facebook. And almost 52% of the US population are Facebook users. I'm actually a little surprised by that. I thought it would be higher, but that's the current statistic. And then 6.6% of users are 65 and older. So in my experience, I love Facebook. It is the social media platform that started it all for me. So I will never not use Facebook, but excuse me, it is definitely, I think about like 30 and younger are not quite as active on Facebook as those of us who are 30 and older. So yeah. Okay, whoops, we're going to get out of this here. So I'm going to just live click around in my Facebook, and we're just going to kind of go through some things. Okay, so this post went up on UBT earlier today. So it kind of gives you a general idea of like how a business would use Facebook. So in this particular post, I am promoting our 5-minute account opening through our website and on our app. So we have a really nice graphic that we created, and then I wrote this very lovely caption that probably got rewritten by somebody else because that's usually how it goes. So Facebook you may not see a lot of these like business posts unless you favorite it. Facebook is really trying to make sure that you are seeing content from your friends and family over businesses, unless you interact with the business, obviously, quite a bit. You'll get a lot of ads. So this is a company that I buy a lot of clothing from. I get a lot of ads from them. Let's see. Runza. I mean, who doesn't love Runza? It's Temp Tuesday. We all got to go get a Runza. So yeah, that's kind of, when you're scrolling through your feed, just be mindful. You can always tell if it's an ad because it will say sponsored. So that's something to keep in mind if you're wondering, like, why am I seeing this on my feed? If you just, take a little peek here, it will identify if it's a sponsored post, or that means that the company paid for it to show up in your feed. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, so you can kind of just see that my news feed is mostly split between like my friends and a couple of businesses that I follow, some ads. I am a Taylor Swift fan, so I get a lot of Taylor Swift content on my feed. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back up to the top. Excuse me. So if we want to just go to the bare minimum of, like, I have a Facebook account, but it's just to keep up with my friends and family. I don't really post on my Facebook account, but I would like to. That's where this part will come in. So you can either come just right to here to the top of your newsfeed, or you can click on your profile, and here's an option too as well. So I'm going to start from here because this is typically where you would make a post, is from this spot right here. So yeah, it'll pull up a box. There is some content filtering. So I have all of my posts filtered so that specific people don't see it, but you can change it to public. I would not recommend posting anything publicly, but if there's something that you want the entirety of Facebook to see, you can do public. Most people will have their settings on friends. You could do only me. I don't know why a person would do that, but if you wanted to just post something to get it off your chest, you could sure do that too. And then to attach a photo, you're just going to click the little photo button right down here, this little green photo button, and excuse me, we're going to add a photo. Let me go to something that's not work related. And I have this very nice photo of my family that you saw earlier. I'm just going to stick it on here. So then here is where we write our caption. So you can write something very sweet, very silly. You can use emojis. Since I'm posting this in real time, I'm just going to throw an emoji on, and people are just going to, my friends are going to be a little confused why I'm posting my family photo several months after I posted it, but that's okay. So anyway, yeah, you can just type out your little caption, add some emojis. Super fun to add emojis. Apparently I use a dog and cat emoji a lot, and the laughing emoji. So, and then if you wanted to tag somebody, you just click the little tag button down here. I'll go ahead and tag my husband because he likes to be tagged in my photos. Excuse me. And then if you wanted to add a location, you could. I don't do that often, just because, people can see where you're at if you tag your location. So if you're posting it in real time, do you want everyone to know that you're at the Lincoln Children's Zoo? Maybe not, maybe save that for after you get home, then you can post about it. But I personally don't use the location tag very often. Excuse me, let me take a quick drink. Okay. So now we have it all ready to go. We have a photo, we have a caption. I've tagged my husband in it. It's great. And I'm going to go ahead and click post. And then there it is. It's right at the top of my feed. And then as my friends and family start liking and commenting on it, we will get some notifications up here. Let me just get rid of those so we can see that. So that's kind of the very basic overview of how to post on Facebook, and then it will come here eventually. Come on. So you'll be able to see it here on your feed. So this is what your profile would look like. This is how all of my friends see my profile. It is very unnerving that I have 666 friends. I might have to delete somebody because that's scary. But so this is how my profile looks. I have a profile picture, photo of my kids as a cover photo. You can share more information about yourself, like where you work or where you worked, any organizations you're part of, where you live, where you're from, you're in a relationship with or not. That'll show all of the photos that you've been tagged in. So yeah, that's kind of a general overview of how your profile looks. Ooh, I thought I was gonna do okay, but we're getting a little raspy as time goes on. Okay. And then, oh, see, somebody has already liked my photo, so I'm gonna get a notification about that. And it'll tell me right where that notification goes. All right. And then another thing that I wanted to kind of run through with everyone is settings and privacy, because I really feel very strongly about privacy settings on Facebook. If your account is not set up correctly in terms of privacy, when you comment on things and when you are sharing things, if your settings are not correct, everyone can see that, which if that's what you want, that's fine. But in my personal opinion, I like to have things a little bit more locked down. I don't want, random people on Facebook that are friends of friends seeing me comment on things that, I want to have a little bit of a safety, especially because I share my children on Facebook. I want to make sure that they are secure. So we're going to go into the settings. So to get to settings and privacy, you're going to hover over the top right where your little account picture is. And then you're just going to click settings and privacy and then go to the privacy center. So I haven't actually looked at my privacy center in a while, so we're going to see how this works out. Let's see here. So we're going to go to settings. Go to Facebook settings. Excuse me. Okay, so this is kind of, like I said, I have my Facebook pretty locked down. So who can send me friend requests? So only friends of friends. So they have to know me in some way. So it can't just be random people from a different country sending me friend requests. And then you can change who can actually see your friends list. So you can have it be public, you can have it just be your friends, or this might be a good case for like only you can see who you're friends with if you want to really lock down your security. Let's see here. Who can suggest your profile based on your phone number, email address? Again, have this to my friends and possible connections. So I do have my phone number on my account. That's not a requirement. I think I put it in when I set my account up, 15 odd years ago. So it's just always been in there. There is also the option to allow search engines outside of Facebook to link to your profile. I had that switched off. I don't think that Google should be crawling around on my Facebook page, but that's just my personal opinion. And then message requests. So this would be, messaging from your friends and family or from people who are not connected to you. So again, these all go to, you can change how you want these requests to be delivered. If you choose to get them sent to message requests, that's not actually in your message inbox. It's a different inbox, which is a little confusing. But if you just don't want to worry about strangers messaging you, then send them all to your message requests. Okay. Let's see here. And then there's another thing that I wanted to show you all, but I have to remember where it's at. Excuse me. There is a setting in here where you can set up a person on your behalf to access your account. This is great in the event that something happens and you you need someone else to have access to your Facebook account. So whether you're in the hospital or, you know, if something really terrible happens and you pass away or whatever, you know, that's very morbid, I understand. But it is nice to have somebody who has access to your account to either turn it off and delete it, or you know, if you get hacked or whatever, they can they can get into your profile for you. I have to remember where that setting is. Let's see what this button does. Nope, that's not what I want. We're learning in real time, so I hope this isn't too confusing. Because I'm pretty sure I have either my mom or my husband are on there. Anyway, I'll find it and then we'll talk about it. But anyway, once I find that setting, it is a good setting to have on. Another thing that I wanted to, I think that's all I have in the like privacy stuff, privacy and settings. This kind of main privacy settings is really where you want to make sure everything is, you know, up to what you would like. And let's see here. Go over here. Excuse me. You can block people if you want. If somebody doesn't like your chocolate chip cookie recipe and they're slandering you all over social media, you can block them if you want. I would be personally offended if somebody was slandering my chocolate chip recipe, but okay, I'm gonna just get out of that and we'll look at some. We'll look. Find that setting later. Anyway, one thing that I did want to touch on is making sure that the information that you're sharing is not harmful, I suppose. The problem with social media is that a lot of things go around very quickly that are not true and can spread misinformation, or the posts are designed to steal information from you without you really knowing. And I wish I had a good example of this, but I think I just like my algorithm has realized that I don't put up with these types of posts. But if you ever see a post that's like, oh, share this post and you'll win $1,000 and an all expenses paid trip to Bali, all you have to do is share it. Like, that is not real. Don't post that. If anything is claiming to share something, share this post and you'll win a 2024 Ford truck. That's not real. So just be mindful when you're looking at posts and kind of assess for yourself, oh, is this real? It sounds too good to be true. It probably is. So just be mindful of that. With the election coming up this year, there is going to be an enormous amount of misinformation spread on Facebook. So again, just kind of, you know, if you think, wow, this doesn't seem right, or I don't know if this is true, hop on over to Google, do a quick Google search. But it'll help you just make sure that, again, you're not spreading misinformation, and that what you're sharing to your friends is things that matter to you, and maybe doesn't spark a war at the Thanksgiving dinner table. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of a general, that was a super fast overview. And I hope that you got something out of all of that rambling. Let me see. I'm going to pull my slideshow back up. Excuse me. Okay, so my really quick recap, and then we'll get into questions. So again, think before you post. My personal rule of thumb is to only accept friend requests from people that you actually know in real life. And if I were to get a friend request from my husband, a new friend request from my husband, I would be a little suspicious of that because we are already friends. So I would, you know, go through the process of like, well, this is probably fake, so I probably shouldn't accept it. Report things that look suspicious to you. That's a great way to stop misinformation on social media. And then review your privacy settings like I showed you. So that's all that. And again, I know that was like a super fast zoom through of like very general overview of Facebook, but I had a feeling that there would be some questions. So I wanted to leave ample time for questions and to make sure that everyone walks away with any information that they are hoping to learn today. So if you have a question, I would love to answer it for you.
Bree, before you, let me see here, excuse me. First of all, I am so sorry that you that your throat is like that. I hope it's not painful.
No, it actually doesn't hurt. It's just really dry, and I feel bad because I sound a little bit like a Muppet. But I so I hope that wasn't too distracting me coughing a little bit.
Oh, I don't think it was. And we have some great questions in the chat feature. And before we do, I wanted to say, first of all, that nobody would ever slander your baking on Facebook. Ever. And thank you for going back to cover what I think of are some of the safety basics. But if you could just reiterate that privacy statement, the profile, and that's paramount to staying safe. And that, tell me the best practice with location. Is it don't ever share your location when you're on vacation? Come back and share your fun vacation photos. Yeah, you were very diplomatic about those things, but if you were going to be if you were just going to talk to me, what would you tell me about?
Yeah, my personal philosophy and rule of thumb is I typically don't share. I say this in the last vacation I went on, I did share that we were going to Orlando, like as we were in the airport. But I typically don't share when we're like the day that we're leaving, I don't share that. And while I'm on vacation, I may only share a photo a day and kind of keep it very minimal. And then when I get back, then I'll share all of the photos. This might just be me living in a very safe neighborhood and I have cameras all over my house. So I'm not super worried about someone seeing that I'm in Florida and coming to my house and doing something. But if personally you don't feel comfortable letting your entire friend group know that you are in Florida, then just don't post about it until you get back. And then you can say, oh, I had a wonderful time in Florida. So I think that is a little bit more personal preference. Posting in real time, like at the zoo, for example, that always kind of freaks me out just a little bit because you never know who's going to see you at the zoo and who's going to hunt you down. But so I always try and like that kind of stuff around town. I always kind of make sure I wait and post after the fact, just again, for my children's privacy, essentially. So
sure. And the other thing is, tell me about those quizzes that pop up on Facebook asking about the make and model of the first car you drove and those seemingly innocuous things.
Yeah, those kind of posts pop up all the time where they, it'll just be like a text that says, oh, what was the first make of your car, or what was the first car that you ever drove? And those are great for people love to comment on those types of things, which is great. But the problem is if you're commenting on that and you say, oh, my first car that I ever bought was a 1969 Ford Mustang. And now think about when you set up your password and your recovery and they authenticate your identity by asking, your security questions. And if you put, oh, my first car was a 1969 Ford Mustang, now somebody has that information about you and can easily authenticate your identity, but it's obviously not you. So if you ever come across a post that says something like, oh, what town did you grow up in? What was the first car you drove? What is your mother's maiden name? I've never seen that, but you know what you get the gist of like, if you ever see a post that's asking you for very personal information like that, just steer clear of that, because those oftentimes are a scam to get information about you, to try and steal your information to get your password.
Perfect. Thanks. Sage advice. Okay, first official question. I see a copy and paste post claiming to reset the algorithm. I've not done it because I don't believe a simple copy and paste will work. But is there a way to increase your feed with friends?
Okay, I'm so glad that you brought that up, David, because I see that post all the time and it drives me absolutely insane. That is not true. There is no way. You are absolutely right. There's no way that copying and pasting is going to make any difference on how the algorithm changes for you. So the algorithm is based on your actions. So what you're doing with your feed. So let me go back and share my Facebook again. So if I go to my feed, excuse me. And okay, so I'm going to find one of my, okay, so this is a business that I really love. And I want to see more of them. So in order to see more of not only the businesses that you want to see, but your friends and family, you have to interact with their posts. So here I'm going to like it. I could leave a comment. One of my friends in this really beautiful picture, if I like it, Facebook will recognize that I enjoy seeing her content because I have interacted with it. Rusty Dawkins is my favorite weather guy. So I will often interact with his posts because I trust him as a weather person and I want to keep seeing his posts come up. Let's see here. See, and now you can see I have another post in here from that boutique that I just showed you. The airport.
We're learning a lot about Bree, aren't we?
Yeah, you're really getting a deep dive into my my feed here. And then you can also, let me go to one of my friends' posts here. It's a lot of businesses right now. Let's see here. Businesses and okay, so I'm going to go to this post, which is really funny. I loved blizzards from Dairy Queen too. So if you click the three little dots, if there's somebody that you don't, maybe you're friends with and you don't like what they're sharing at the moment, this is especially helpful during the election. This feature will be used by me quite a bit during the election, but you can snooze people. So if you just click the three little dots, normally it would say, because she shared this, it's not saying her name, but you can snooze a person for 30 days and their post will not come in. Oh, here it says snooze Jocelyn. So this is a good way that you can stay friends with somebody that you care about, but not see their opinions on X, Y, and Z that they post all the time. So that's, using the snooze feature or just unfollowing them will again get them out of your feed. Let me go to my husband's profile. So I think there's a way, or there used to be a way where I can mark him as like a favorite. Oh yeah, here. So if you go to somebody that, say it's your kid or your grandkid that you really want to see everything that they're posting, making sure that you're not missing anything. If you go to their profile page and you just click on the friends icon, you can add them as a favorite. So he's obviously a favorite of mine. So his posts always come up immediately. And that's really helpful if you want to make sure that making sure you're seeing post from a specific person is to go in and favorite them. And then obviously I interact with all of his photos and his content. So Facebook knows that, and Facebook just knows that we're married. So that helps a lot too, where it just keeps showing me, the few things that he posts. But as you can see, I am very engaged with this company or with this boutique. So I always get all of their posts, but and then I did see somebody asked a question about how to report something. So again, it's just these three little dots on the post, and then you can just report the ad. You can hide it or you can report it. Oh, I didn't mean to actually. Oh, there we go. I was like, wait a minute. I know there's another screen that comes up, and it'll give you a bunch of options for how to report it and what you think that is wrong with it, essentially. So yeah, the three little dots are a good place to start if you are just wanting to interact more. I've also noticed that Facebook recently too And I don't know if they do this on the desktop because I'm not on the desktop version very often. But on my mobile app, when I'm scrolling, it will ask me if I'm interested or not interested in the content. So that's another way if you're trying to like curate your feed. If you see something that is of interest to you, you can click interested or not interested, and that'll help the algorithm better serve content for you.
Perfect. Thanks. Pat asked a while back, she asked you how you got rid of comments so quickly, and that was early on when you were showing your profile.
Let me see here.
Proceed.
Comment. Let me see. You can, let me see. Come on, scroll down. I don't know what I did, so I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know that that's helpful. I don't
Pat,
remember what I did.
if you want to elaborate on that, I am so sorry. If you want to elaborate on that, we can go, we can revisit that topic. And the next question is, how can the actual Facebook screen be enlarged?
That's a great question. I mean, you can just zoom on the browser. Let me see. Let me pull it back up. I should just leave it open. I don't know why I keep closing it. Let's see. So if you go to, where is my, trying to think of how to zoom not on a keyboard. Oh, right here. So you can just zoom in. So mine's pretty zoomed out, just because I like it zoomed out. But I mean, you can go in, and Facebook is responsive. So that means no matter your screen size, it will adjust to fit your screen essentially. So you can zoom in on your phone. You can change the zoom on your phone too. So that's a good way to make it easier to read.
Perfect. And you addressed the who do we report suspicious things to question. Is that?
Yep.
So something suspicious, you report it. Linda says, my Facebook account was lost due to an incomplete data transfer when we switched to a new computer. I started a new Facebook page, but I really haven't used it because I want my old page and my old friends back. I have no reason to believe it was hacked. It just didn't transfer. Any advice? Could I maybe use that privacy setting that you mentioned?
That's a good question. So that's something that people in our office have been struggling with right now is privacy stuff. Facebook has made some recent privacy updates. I'm trying to think of the best course of action to do that. Because I'm wondering if, let me see, due to incomplete data transfer. So I'm wondering if maybe, Linda, you just, I don't know if it's like a password problem or trying to think of how I would go about that. Let me log out of my account really quick. So if you clicked forgot password, you should be able to reset. I don't know. I mean, you can in the chat if you want to, whoops, get out of here. If you want to, oh my gosh. I can't find my window. I'm lost. There we go. Yeah, I would maybe start with, just maybe trying to go through the forget your password. And then usually there is somewhere you should be able to get like a help. Oh no. Oh, so here, so I'm trying to log in. I have two-factor authentication. Wow, I cannot say that word. I have two-factor installed. You don't have to do that, but it is, obviously two-factor is fine. But you could go in here and there's a contact help center. So you might just have to do some clicking around. I wish that I could give you a better answer, but without knowing, the specifics on exactly, whoops, over my calculator. The specifics on that, it's kind of hard for me to say, but I would, try resetting your password. If that doesn't work, you should be able to, at some point, a box will come up that asks at some point to contact the help center, and they would probably be able to give you better direction than I would, knowing more specifics.
Okay. Linda, does that work for you? I've got a gentleman with his hand up, and then both Bruce and Brenda. Oh, Linda says the help center was not helpful, Bree.
Oh no, that's a bummer. Yeah, I think it's hit or miss sometimes with the help center. Like sometimes they're really great and sometimes they're not.
So maybe try again and see
Yeah,
if
I would maybe try again. Maybe have somebody sit down with you that is has used Facebook, you know, pretty heavily, and maybe they can click around some things and try and find out maybe what the issue is. So that's what I would suggest, is try reaching out to Facebook again, and then maybe just sitting down with somebody who is a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? My brain is out. Somebody who spends more time on Facebook. There we
go. Okay. Well, Linda, I'm sorry that we can always, I do have your contact info through Journey, and if we come up with something else, I will reach out to you. I would have at least your email address through the registration list. I've got a very patient gentleman with his hand up, and then both Bruce and Brenda also had questions. So Kurt?
Yes, Bree, I just have a question. One day a week I volunteered at an animal shelter. There's so many neat dogs, but if people don't know to go to the animal shelter's website, the dogs really don't get that much publicity. So when I'm there, I take pretty good photos of my favorites. Is there any downside to using a public posting on Facebook of some dogs just to sort of get their information out to more people?
Nope, not at all. I think that's wonderful. Let's save all the dogs and get them all homes.
So what determines who sees that? If someone goes on his or her Facebook page, would that person have to search for dogs available for adoption in Nebraska?
Yeah, it would probably get shown to people who are local, who the algorithm has already identified that they are dog lovers or animal lovers. And that's the kind of content that they like seeing. So that's probably who would see it, or your friends of friends. That's probably who it would go to. So it wouldn't go to like somebody in California, probably, but.
And then I'd put information about contacting the shelter, but if they wanted to contact me personally, would they be able to do that if my settings are normally friends only?
So it would. Oh, sorry. I thought somebody in the parking lot hit another car. I got very distracted. I'm so sorry.
Oh, squirrel.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, it's fine. Anyway, yeah, you just have to check your message settings. It might just go to your message request, so I can show you. Where's my mouse go? There we go. What? Oh, did I click out of that? Oh, you guys, hang on. Let me get it back open. Okay, never mind. I'm really good at using a computer. Can't you tell? Let me open Facebook back up. So when you go into your messages, so you can see, if you click see all in Messenger, it'll pull up, and then you can go to the three little dots again, and it'll go to message requests. So these are all of the message requests that I have that I've just never answered because I don't need to answer them. So it's just, like I said, it goes to your inbox, but it's like a separate inbox. You just have to make sure that if you have it set up for only friends, to make sure you're checking your message requests semi-frequently. But yeah, they can still message you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Bree. Bruce wants to know, here you've been showing us all these businesses. How do you tell if a business that sells on Facebook is legit?
That's a really great question because I I recently bought something on off of Instagram and I thought, oh man, I hope this is legit. And I'm actually still waiting for the order. They're a legit company, just for whatever reason it's taking forever. So let me go back to my feed here. Because I have even fallen victim to this where I see an ad and I'm like, oh wow, that looks so great. And then I click on it and then I think, oh no, is that actually real or did they just steal my credit card?
So do we need to give you the little speech about not clicking on links? Because with this group, we talk about that a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this. So this salon centric ad. I'm obviously not a hairstylist. I have no reason to shop at Salon Centric. Excuse me, for whatever reason, I'm getting this ad for Salon Centric. So when I go to shop now, excuse me. Well, my bank computer is going to make sure it's secure, which is very helpful. Thank you, bank. But there's a couple of ways that you can kind of tell that a company is legit. So I always scroll like all the way down to the bottom. And if they have social media, you can click on their social media handles. If a company is fake that it has an ad for a product, typically their social media is non-existent, or they have like all, it's like a very small following. So Salon Centric obviously is a big name company. Excuse me. So they have, quite a few followers. They have, 250,000 followers. So that right there kind of tells you that they're legit. Seeing if they have, apps in the app stores also kind of verifies that they're authentic. Another really good thing for me is if it's a Shopify account or a Shopify website. I wish I had a good example of a Shopify website, but Shopify is just kind of like it's a company that helps host websites for companies that sell products, and you have to be authenticated to be on their platform essentially. And typically there is something in the footer that says that they're powered by Shopify. So that's always a good way to make sure that they're legit. So, I mean, just taking a couple of seconds to look through, maybe even Googling them to see, because if you Google and if they're not legit right away, there's going to be, things in Google that say, oh, this company stole my money, or I never got the product that I ordered, or, so just if you're worried, just take a pause and kind of investigate their website, their social media, and Google, and you can pretty easily come up with an answer if they're legit or not. I personally don't order anything that like directly through the app because that freaks me out. I would rather just go to their website and order directly from the website. So that helps too. But yeah, just, taking that little bit of time to make sure that they're legit helps.
Good advice. Thank you. If your account has been hacked, what is the easiest process to report it?
Oh man, it's been a long time since I've had my account hacked. There should be, I'm trying to think of, that's another very good question. Let me think here. Looking up information. I'm not just ignoring you for my phone.
Something that we can do for those two questions for certain is when I do the recap of this segment, of the series, rather, of all three segments, and we include the recordings and we post it on the Journey webpage, I can include those two pieces of information. But I can also follow up with the folks, with the people who ask them individually. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. So I just typed into Google my Facebook account. My Facebook account has been hacked, and that's what I typed into Google. And the second or the very first result is recover your account if you think it's been hacked. So if you just Google that, it'll pull up and it will bring you right to Facebook's help center. So here, I guess I could show it on my computer here instead of on my phone. That's not helpful. So So if you just Google that, like I said, it'll pull up this recover your account if you think it's been hacked. And it'll pull you right into Facebook help, and then you can click get started. I don't want to do that because I don't want to mess up any of my settings. But that should help you start to recover your account if it gets lost or hacked, which is very unfortunate.
Contact Facebook help ASAP
Yep.
to recover account. Okay.
And then at some point I will find this legacy thing, but I know it's in there somewhere. Well, here, let me just, whoops. Let's Google Facebook legacy contact and we will see what happens.
And while you're doing that, Bree, I think everyone I mean, if you're people who have their friends and family on their account, they know why they do why they have them on. They want to see pictures and posts and what's happening. You're showing us all these businesses. We get that you like to shop. But what other reasons? For example, if you already have accounts from UBT, why would you want to follow UBT?
That is a great question. Let me go to our Facebook page, and that will help kind of give a visual.
Or nonprofits that you're involved in. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yep, exactly. So following for example, the bank on Facebook is really great. Just last week is a great example because we had a lot of closures due to the snow. So we put up a couple of posts about the snow affecting branch hours. So that's, a really great place to get in real time information about your branch. And, if you had plans to go to the bank and now you see that the branch is closed or whatever, then you can get some more real-time information. We had an event that was scheduled for Saturday that we canceled because of the snow. So again, we posted that on social media. That didn't go out in an email. So, it's a good way to stay connected. If there's an event that you're interested in, excuse me, on Facebook, really any of our social medias, I also try and post helpful educational materials. So last week I posted about how someone could rebound from holiday debt. If your holiday budget kind of got blown out of the water, we have a really great blog about that. So I post blog content and things to be mindful of, like obviously tax time is coming up. So I'll post information about tax time. I also post about what UBT is doing in the community. So if that's something that you really care about and like knowing what your bank is doing in the community, it's really great to follow the social media that way. Let me go to one of my other favorite nonprofits, which is one of my favorite nonprofits, which is Brave Bee Child Advocacy Center. Obviously, they're posting quite a bit that they are closed for the snow, but here they have a really great post about the items that they need for winter. So if you are someone who supports Brave Bee and you are maybe doing some snow day cleaning and being stuck at home and you're like, wow, I have all these like random hats and gloves that I don't need anymore, I don't know what to do with them. And if you go and follow your favorite nonprofit who perhaps needs the items that you're getting rid of, you can easily find out if they need that from or need those items from you very quickly. And just sharing, a nonprofit's mission. So, we were talking about sharing about the dogs that need homes. Like that's a really great example of, people don't know what they don't know, right? So if you're sharing about these dogs that need help or need homes, that's going to reach the right person. So just supporting, like having people show support for nonprofits and businesses that especially local businesses that they care about, is also really great. So yeah, I enjoy following businesses and making sure I'm supporting people that way.
Good. Great answer. Thanks. Does anybody else have a question for Bree? Anybody at all? She's got us. We can see ourselves on team.
I know. I'm sorry.
Screen. Well, we've got teams going on here. Yes.
I want to be able to see everyone too.
It's, you can tell we're, what do you keep saying, real time?
Yeah.
We don't believe in anything super polished or rehearsed. We want everybody to feel comfortable. Oh, we've gotten a thanks, appreciated all the information. And Pat and Brenda, I promise you that we'll get those answers and get back with you, and everybody else will have that in the recap. And that will appear again, first part of February-ish on ubt.com/personal/journey, or the journey page. If you've been there, you'll know where to find us. If not, reach out to me and I'll direct you. Bree, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you asked me to do this, and I'm glad that I hopefully answered some questions. And if you have questions, you can reach out to Kelly and she can forward them to me, and I'd be happy to answer them. I know sometimes in the moment you're taking in all of this information, and then maybe 20 minutes later you're like, oh, I had this really great question and I forgot to ask it. Just send it to Kelly and she can send it to me and I'll happily answer it for you.
Or I'll shout it to her. We sit just feet apart.
Yep.
Thanks so much, everybody, for giving up a slice of your Tuesday for this segment of Tune Up Tuesdays. It was just a barrel of fun. And next segment is the 30th of the month, because we go every other week. And TJ Hansen from Union Investment Management Group is going to tell us how to tune up our finances and do that all important retirement check-in. So join us then. In the meantime, be safe and warm, everybody. Thanks again. Thanks, Bree. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.